Guys, accomplished the impossible here today with a quick video on the TYT series DMR radios. This is an important video because there's a lot of these running around, and I found out that several of them are counterfeit. So the DMR radio system is a digital mode known as Moto Turbo or DMR radio. It's not P25, it's not Yaesu Fusion. And it's not D-Star, it's its own thing. DMR is a digital mode that a lot of commercial businesses use for their systems setups. Here in the United States, we use P25 for first responder and public safety. Overseas in Europe, they use DMR for their public safety system. So this is a DMR TYT branded radio. It is very similar to the Motorola's in operation. The only difference is price and support. We're going to get into that here shortly. So upon inspection, the radio is very small. You guys have seen my Harris radio video, so in comparison, you really get a big difference on what is going on. This thing is huge compared to my hand here, and this is really small. So if you're looking for a small radio, that is going to be a pretty decent sized radio, something you would want to look at. It's relatively thin and is relatively light, but it still feels solid. Has a very solid feel to it. Plastic is in really good shape. The plastic is not easily scuffed up. I've dropped it several times on accident, and it's doing fine. Okay, on top, the knobs are continuous, so they never stop turning. This is the channel select, and this is the volume on, volume off, power off, and then turns on. TYT. Okay. So radio, if you're looking for a good radio, just to get on DMR, whether it's commercial or ham radio use, this is a really good buy. This is $100 for this radio. The link on Amazon says it's IP67 rated, which is waterproof. I don't think it is. I think it probably wouldn't last 2 seconds in water. And this is not the TYT Plus. So the model number of this is the TYT MD-UV390. The big brother to this is the MD-UV390 Plus, which I have coming in tomorrow, just to try to mess around with the two and see what the difference is. So, like I said, the radio itself is durable. It's got a belt clip, relatively light. I would not mind carrying this on my belt all day long. It's very light. It's actually kind of refreshing coming from the Harris monster. Okay, that's the good things. The bad things, there's a few of them. All of the software that comes with the radio itself, to control it, sucks. So you have the option of front panel programming, and right now I just have it to be able to program these specific channels, RxTX, add color code, all that. And so it's a run-of-the-mill front-facing programmable radio, and if you're not going to use the software, it's fine. There is online, there's zero support for this radio. TYT does not have firmwares listed on their desktop. TYT does not have programming software listed. They do not have a good forum on how to use this radio and how to program it. And the biggest thing for me is the firmware. The firmware on this radio is absolute garbage in every way and sense of the word. It is not available online, so if something happens to this firmware in this radio and it gets corrupted, you might as well throw it away. Unless you go with a G77 firmware, which was also terrible. It's an amateur-based firmware, and I couldn't find anything worse in my life than that software. It was just terrible. So, like these things are literally requiring people to have software engineering degrees just to use software and firmware and all sorts of garbage. So that being said, if you are getting this radio to play around with it, mess around with firmware, and try different computer things, don't get it. This is very difficult to work with, and I do not recommend it on the software or firmware side. If you are buying this radio just to try DMR out and you just want to program it from the programming software provided on the disc, then it's not bad. I wouldn't not recommend it. It's definitely beats the price of getting a Motorola DMR radio. So with that in mind, this radio is not the Plus version, so it does a basic encryption, which I think is like 128-bit based. This radio, when I bought this, I was like, okay, let me try some encryption, and I have some commercial bands that I use, that I own on the FCC spectrum. So I was trying it on those, and there's some issues that I ran into. Okay, so if we look at this radio, let's go on Amazon real quick. This particular radio, I ordered some radios a while back, and let's go to the first one that was ordered, which was, that was refunded. Alright, let's go to the second page here. Okay, this was this radio. This is the one I ordered, this is the one I got. This is not a Plus, this is just a TYT UV390 dual band DMR waterproof radio, IP67 rated. Is it actually IP67 rated? I don't think it is. For $100 I don't think it is. Could be. If someone wants to post a video of them throwing this in a bucket of water, do it. I want to see it. Anyway, so this is an actual TYT radio. This is legit. It actually works. It does all the 128 encryptions. This model does not do AES 256. But as you can see here in the Amazon link, where is it? There we go. In the Amazon link, it does have a waterproof seal grommet, which this has, but I don't think that's enough to make it waterproof. If you want something to be waterproof, you actually want a rubber seal going around the perimeter of the radio. Okay, this is important. Remember this model number. So if you want to order one of these, this is the information. I don't know if this has a model number affiliated with it, but TYT MD-UV390 digital dual band VHF blah 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 dustproof. Cool. Okay, I will show you what not to order. So this was refunded today. Let me go back to the first page. This was refunded today. I had to take it back. Alright, so I ordered this one, which I thought was another version of this. It is the same model number. MD-UV390 digital dual band VHF DMR waterproof IPv6 walkie-talkie. Notice it doesn't say dustproof, so that might give you an insight to the right and wrong product. This radio is not a TYT radio. I don't know what it is. I just returned it. It did not work, and it did not communicate radio to radio DMR. It did DMR if I left it open on talk group 1, but the second I put all of them on talk group 2 and up, they did not communicate. I know they did not communicate because I have this DMR radio and I have another DMR radio. Both of them didn't work. So if you see this listing on Amazon, which there's your link up here, I'll put these in the description as buy and do not buy. If you see this on Amazon, do not buy it. This is not a legitimate TYT radio, and it comes with a completely different firmware that doesn't even look remotely close to what this looks like. Don't buy it. This is a little bit cheaper, but it's not legit. It's fake. It's bad. Don't buy it. So I just wanted to get that point across because there's a lot of these out there, I'm sure, that people are buying not knowing that this is not legit. This radio had terrible firmware. It had tons of glitches on it, and it just didn't work right straight out of the box. It was bad. Encryption didn't work at all. It didn't even want to turn on. So That being said, in spite of the software is relatively simple. You plug it in with a USB device, turn the radio on the computer, and there's a software called CPS MD-UV390, which is this. And it's really simple. You just plug in the USB and you would hit read. There's no need to list a COM port or anything. It automatically knows what radio you're working with. And this comes with the installer CD, and it seems to be working decently well. I do have issues sometimes where I'll try to upload to the radio and the program crashes. So that sucks, but it's just basic Chinesium software, so it is what it is. Anyway, I hope that helps. If you're looking for a starter DMR radio, these are nice little radios. Just be mindful of the counterfeit radios out there that don't actually do what the actual TYT branded radio does. So I hope this helps. Hope this was interesting to some extent. And we'll say 73s, and this is Accomplish the Impossible. See ya.